Deux, trois, quatre, cinq. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the acid capitalist, also known as Hugh Hendry Me, and you know what? I'm transmitting, as always, from the beautiful, the slightly ridiculous, but the endlessly surprising island of da-dun-da-dun, drum roll, St. Bart's. You'll find me somewhere between the Atlantic and that damn fine Caribbean water, between the serious and the absurd, between a man who should know better, but one who has absolutely no intention of stopping. I am the acid capitalist, and this is a weekly dispatch from the edge of markets, from the edge of molecules and whatever else I've gotten myself into since we last spoke. If you're new here, I'd like to welcome you. I believe you've arrived at an interesting moment. And if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. And I guess you already know there are no warm-up acts on this show, none. We go straight. We, you, I, me, I'm ready to jump in, shall we? Before we do, a small, tiny request. If this podcast, this one, The Acid Capitalist, if it has ever cracked something open for you, if it's made you laugh, if I've made you think what a wally I am, if at times it's felt slightly uncomfortable in a way that felt kind of like everyday useful, then I'm begging you, I'm on my knees. It's embarrassing, but a 5-star rating, it costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. The human touch. We spoke about the sass apocalypse the last time. The human is the moat. I need a bigger moat. I need you, I need your thumb, I need your index finger, I need a 5-star rating. Okay, that's it, let's go. Today's episode, I've carried this in the can, so to speak, for a while. I've been unsure, but as I sit here on Friday morning in Boss Select, and I am awaiting the arrival of 14 people. We will be a party of 19 this weekend. Somehow I thought this one was appropriate. And it's called The Drugs Work. When I was writing this, it was nearly 1 in the afternoon. I was sitting in the ghetto and I hadn't read a fucking email all year. That's what it felt like in my brain. I dragged my skinny boned ass out of bed much earlier. My targets for the day were locked. I had synchronicity. Deadlines, of course, like deadlines always, were howling at me. And my Catholic guilt was punching. I'm a funny queer mix of Catholic guilt and Presbyterian duty. I mean, I ain't a Presbyterian, but there was a lot of them in Scotland. And those Presbyterians, they're stomping around the room inside my head like an angry motherfucker. I call them the voices in my head. A torrent, a rage imploring me to do more, to do better. And this was supposed to be a goddamn serious day. Instead, I'm sat still in my black silk Bruce Lee pajama bottoms. 3 coffees already slammed, magic potions mashed into my yogurt, and my laptop quietly devouring the morning like a silent thief. And you know what? I didn't drift here. I have to say I chose this outcome. I cracked my eyes open. I fired up the screen, and the hours was at a vanishing point, but they just disappear when I'm locked in that daily extinction code. Have I welcomed you to St. Bart's? I don't know, I can't remember, but have I told you I'm called Hugh Hendry? You see, I sail perilously close to the extinction code every day. This week's podcast is inspired by those annoying, supercilious, condescending, smug motherfuckers on YouTube. Every time I present free content, where are you when I need you on Substack? But the freeloading people, you know the ones, they lean back, they sigh, and they write, the drugs don't work, kids. Like they know, like they're judging me. This one is for those smug motherfuckers. Who am I? Why is the sky blue? But who am I? My dear friends, I am the acid capitalist. I'm that stranger who swims alone and stares at waves. I stare at waves way too long. And I hunt for answers in the daily debris of markets, of global markets. My calling card, the thing I search for, the thing that lights me up, is irony and paradox. I'm seeking to collect universal anecdotes, to test them, to keep what works and throw the rest back. I'm a fisherman of ideas. Let me say this plainly. Let me say this slowly. I use drugs deliberately, strategically. I use drugs with intent, not to escape this blessed isle, not to numb some uncomfortable feeling. I have no shame. I don't take drugs because I'm broken. I take drugs because left untreated, my mind will eat the fucking furniture. And then it will eat itself. I've got that kind of mind. Now, don't get me wrong. I've tried the normal way. What is the normal way? Showers first, the gym, lunch plans, friends, small talk, lists, meditation, doctors. None of it works for me. And so I built something else. And let's just stop there, because if that bothers you, good. It should. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Like, drop me a line. Share some of your own personal anecdotes. I would be fascinated. We're going to do sections. And we're going to look at the brain. It's a bit like acid, my icon on the screen. It looks like AC/DC, but it's acid, which is an incongruous introduction to discussing ADHD. I promise you, I've not been formally diagnosed. All my kids have, of course. It's not like a big deal. It's a setup. It's a cosmic joke on non-AI earthlings. It's a baseline. It's a magical baseline that purrs very low, but I consciously can hear it. A baseline that purrs unless the project feels alive. Novelty gets my attention. And boredom is like all those taxes you Brits have to pay for the benefits. It bores me. Working memory is my scratch pad. And my scratch pad and my browser get crowded really fucking fast. Details get discarded when there's a distraction, which is to say constantly. I promise you, at the end of the day, I have like 25 browsers. The computer speed is perilously close to the extinction code. Hyperfocus for the acid capitalist. It exists, but it's buried very deep and it's narrow. And I got to tell you, it's rare. But it's there. It's rare, but it's there. I am not broken. I'm just configured for a different journey. My brain wants a better signal to noise ratio. My brain needs a higher sharp ratio. And that's the job of the drugs. Raise the signal, drop the noise. Name one action, take it now. I've got this new wonderful girlfriend. She tells me to do shit. And I do it now. And it's like, oh, it's quite satisfying. Maybe she's another drug. We'll come back to the ladies. Let's just focus on the drugs, the work. We don't know if the ladies work. But you know, when the ratio, the noise, the signal ratio, when it's kind of wrong, everything feels heavy and impossible. But when it's right, work is moving, it's transcending, and time behaves. My mind focuses. The morning drugs. What are the morning drugs? My drugs are plural, and taken together, when combined, my brain, it doesn't feel chemistry. It feels weather. Not whether I should or whether I don't. It feels like the fucking weather. Pressure shifts, static thins. The day becomes usable. I get utility from the day. Not calm, but again, usable. Usable is the holy grail. Calm is overrated. There are two roads that I can think of. The narrow road runs on prescription stimulants. Clean lines, tight corners, a reliable, steady force, and it works. Thank God it works for many, but not necessarily for me. It's too straight, too obvious, too not me. Maybe like in the car, like gripping the steering wheel too tight. The wider, more expansive road begins with, obviously, caffeine, the coffee in the morning. Coffee is not energy necessarily, it's kind of permission. The coffee that I take is telling the whispering, but it's telling the voices in my head, just give me a while. And these are the modest drugs. And then I've got the L-theanine. It's an amino acid found in green tea. I never drink green tea. I drink the caffeine. But the theanine, it stops me from turning into a jittery, arrogant twat. Sometimes. Maybe it doesn't work. And then you've got theobromine. Am I making this up? But God, I love that son of a bitch compound. It's the stimulant hiding inside every bar of dark chocolate. It stretches the arc of my imagination. My flights of fancy, they don't spike and then vanish immediately. They linger. And I can contemplate. Did I tell you I watch waves way too long? It's the theobromine. And then you have rhodiola. What a beautiful word, rhodiola. Rhodiola does nothing in the here and now, and it does everything later. I mean, that could almost be the motive for acid capitalism. Nothing presently, but there's a lot coming. It's an ancient Ayurvedic herb. Memory sticks a little bit better. The recall gets sharper, but kind of like 6 weeks from now. It's why people dismiss shit. I'm drawn closer. And I mention these weird, strange little things because they're all wrapped up in a cannabinoid. It's a weed pill. But it's a weed pill which is cultivated with these ancient herbs. And I take like the green and the yellow pill, the energy and the intelligence pill. And suddenly the ADHD is pushed away. And again, I find utility in my day. I mean, I'm not paid to say that. I am merely an ambassador spreading the word. The cannabis, it bends the perspective when the job needs a different lens. I love my mind. I'm not seeking to make things disappear. I'm not seeking a vanishing point. I'm simply seeking to tilt salience, to concentrate, to run faster, to sleep deeper, to feel bliss, to try and reduce the pain, to feel, is love a real thing? Can you feel it from another human being? Send me an email. Send me a WhatsApp. I don't read emails. This is not meant to be teenage fireworks. I think this is respectability because the feeling I'm after is not excitement. It's usability. Usability, utility. Make me a functioning adult. Make me able to navigate my way through the busy room. Dear God in heaven, allow me to finish my sentences. And you know what? With the right combination, my thoughts, they kind of stay seated, behaving properly long enough for me to get paid. Paid in the compensation of your subscription, of your attention. We're morning time. I've taken a mother load of coffee and I've taken my 2 pills and my mind is beginning to act maybe like your mind. And I'm getting things done. But I know it won't last. And as midday approaches, we have to talk about the run, the beach run. Because instead of just sitting endlessly at the screen, do we feel sorry for, I never feel sorry for myself. But do you know why? Because I run. I run into the fucking tropical midday heat on an empty beach while everyone else stuffs their faces with lunch or hides indoors from the cruel sunshine. This is not bravado. This is necessity. 500 meters one way, turn, and 500 meters back. A kilometer loop. No sun lotion, which I've been paying for recently. Black shorts, I'm bareback. There's no mountain. I'm barefoot. Stay with the barefoot. I've got music blasting in my ears. My stride is locked in. This isn't some pretty boy aesthetic bullshit. This is raw circuitry. The feet are a much deprived intelligence unit, jammed with sensors, engineered to decode chaos. I love what feet are capable of doing. Soft sand, unstable as fuck, blasting a non-stop torrent of data upstream through my body to my brain. Balance, pressure, micro corrections. The foot-brain axis ignites and it screams bloody murder. And that shit, that synchronicity from the extremes of the body, that's getting rarer because modern man hacked the line to the soul. And I blame those fuckers at Nike. I blame those foam-heeled cocksuckers. Cushioning the step, castrating the feedback. I don't see the aesthetic attraction of the runner. I see knees wrapped, joints protected. Why? Because when you put that foam intermediary between the soul and the brain, the brain's hearing something, but when it gets distilled and refracted through that Nike cushion, it kind of turns your English into Chinese. You know, like, qu'est-ce que c'est? If you don't speak French, maybe you didn't understand me, and that's like your brain and your soul. And so the brain's like, the brain's having a cigarette, it's like, honey, like, this is too confusing, and the brain just throws chemicals and like random shit, and that's why you end up with a sore knee. Listen to your soul. Remove the heel, run barefoot. Feel the burn, reconnect the wires in the sand's savage grip. I love the beach. I go to the Saline beach. Now, and here's what, drug-free, I grind 1 kilometer in about 8 minutes. 0.6 of a mile, raw, honest resistance. But I've got this green pill that's got caffeine and the cannabinoid, and I slam back another 3 coffees. My lap time drops by a minute. I'm kind of doing 1 kilometer, 0.6 of a mile in about 7 minutes. I am not the Flying Scotsman, but the pill reduces the drag like oiling a rusty fucker. Before I run, I feel like a rusty fucker. I love saying rusty fucker. That little pill, it packs the cannabis, which is muzzling the inner voices in my head, suppressing the doubts. It has the caffeine, of course, which is unlocking the vault. So I've got a lot of fatty acids spilling out, making the muscle fibers clench. And there's zero haggling. It's like, yes. Your wish is my command. Remember the theobromine? The chocolate, the secret stimulant? That's prolonging the surge without the spike and the crash. The cycle is longer. And then we've got some galang galal. Galang galal, I don't know if I'm making this up. This ginger's spicier, stranger cousin from Thailand. I mean, what's not to love about Thai cousins? If ginger is jazz, galang galal is techno. The galang galal negotiates with the inflammation, and it does so quietly, but it doesn't ask permission. It's like boom, 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 boom. And my muscles turn rude, and my muscles are more ready to rumble. Pain shoved to the back burner where it belongs. We don't need pain. Well, the cost of the effort seems less and less. What can I say? The drugs fucking deliver. I mean, this is a little bit personal, but I'm going to share. I have no shame. Sometimes I tape my mouth shut. I mean, there's a lot of people who wish I'd just tape my mouth permanently. But I'm trying to force nasal breathing. You know, when I'm writing about Marcus and I'm saying, find the constraint, this is about finding the constraint. Carbon dioxide tolerance, carbon dioxide training is how calm you can allow your body to remain when the air feels thin. Like climbing in the above 3,000 meters, it's the death zone where the oxygen is thinner. It's trainable. And so that's why under the harsh tropical Caribbean sunshine at midday, I am taping my mouth. And I gotta tell you, the first 500 meters are brutal. The tape blocking my breath, it forces the blood flow elsewhere. Gives you a raging hard-on that throbs like a motherfucker. My face flushing, my heart fucking ready to explode. The body lighting up in ways that feels excessive, confrontational. It's obscene. Oh, the hard-on dies away. It's concussed by the journey. It's a dare to see how long I can stand being gagged without gagging, without bargaining, without pleading, without begging. It's a test to see if I can push through pain. If I can quieten the body's alarm system. You know, it's like a car alarm. And I'm trying to make that disappear. And when it breaks, suddenly there's a lot of space out there in front of you. And that's beautiful. My body fully awake for the first time in the day. The mind stripped of its voices. 2 kilometers in, it is bliss. And the sand gives nothing, no quarters. It takes nothing back. Every fucking step demands attention. I mean, there's like pebbles, there's, I don't know, like sea debris. This is a wild coastal island, beach in the Caribbean. Sensation piles on, the heart scorching, the grains grinding, the wind whippling. This is poetry on the beach. The sea slamming the shore like a pissed off beast. And the physical overload, it denies every stray thought entrance into the temple of my mind. You know what? There is no room for rumination. None. It's like mental flossing with a rusty wire. Me scraping off the debris of yesterday. On the beach, I chant like a savage, of course I do. I breathe deep, I stride hard, and the raw, brutal beauty of the beach handles everything else. At the end of 5,000 meters running barefoot on the beach, I plunge straight into the sea, balls out naked. I have no shame. A savage sea salt baptism, a baptism of savage sea salt awaits me. The sweat melting off with yesterday's regrets. This beach, Saline Beach, sprawls like a shallow North Atlantic dump slapped into the Caribbean's lap. It's known for its nudists swarming like unashamed beasts. Sunbreakers slapping in the wind like limp decks. A parade of raw flesh, stripped of the bullshit costumes and the fake ass intentions of modern life. That beach is weird as shit. The human body minus the boner is a mindfuck. Like, you got naked people, you're running, you're passing through them, and when you're not aroused and you're just concentrating on them, on the form, the physicality of the human being naked, it's a mindfuck, it's a lot. It's really hard to work out what it's all about. Anyway, I salute the ballsy audacity of the brothers and the sisters out there who stride naked. Just one thing I'd ask, men, no jogging. Apart from no jogging, I think those who tut about the nudists, I think they're gutless pricks. I fucking worship the freaks of Saline Beach. Before we go deeper, or is this a shallow trough with little, if none, market commentary. I mean, like, markets are going up, right? They're going to keep going up until SpaceX, Anthropic, and OpenAI have listed, and they'll probably peak about 6 weeks later. Okay, back to the summer camp. I need to share a word about it because I am genuinely excited. So many of my brothers and sisters have already signed. I think this is going to be the biggest one ever. Camp 4 is going to be extraordinary. St. Bart's, the 2nd to the 6th. On the Thursday, I'm going to take you all to this beautiful beach restaurant. If you heard me go on about the camp and you've been thinking, God, I want to be in a room there, you know, where the conversation, and it doesn't take place in rooms. It takes place in my gigantic table at Blanc Bleu. If you want to have that conversation with me in person and with the amazing people coming, remember 5 days, real people, real ideas, the kind of unfiltered, altogether thinking, the proximity, it makes it worth the trip. Come. Anyway, metabolism. My metabolism is running hot. Metabolism isn't weight. I think metabolism is throughput. How fast can I turn inputs into usable energy? I think of the throughput of my metabolism as, again, trying to engineer a means of clearing the debris of the mess. At a certain age, the metabolism wants to slow down, and I will not allow it to slow down. Because I don't want my insulin sensitivity to slip. I don't want my mitochondrial. God, I love the mitochondrial. You know, it's like power plant. It doesn't burn coal or diesel, but it burns molecules of oxygen or oxygen molecules. I don't. But I don't want those plants getting lazy or inefficient. Every cell needs to be pumping out the energy. And that's why another part of my daily regime is trying to shock the metabolism, keep it awake. I'm like, come on, keep up. The barefoot run in the heat, tick, that works. We haven't mentioned, I go to the Zion gym and I do the hula hoop, and I sit in a cold bath for like, I'm working my way back, but I did 5 minutes yesterday. 5 minutes of like, cold water baths are my religion. Rotation instead of routine. It's another way of shocking the metabolism. And then some days, okay, most days, almost every day, stress. But some days, restraint. On the 7th day, even the acid capitalist rested. Did I tell you that I swallow methylene blue? You know, the Russian garment dye? What do you mean you haven't tried it? Russian garment oil is like amazing. And it supposedly helps the red blood cell. It allows it to grab more efficiently, cleaner, better, the oxygen. Because remember, the mitochondria, we're trying to get the oxygen and we're trying to burn it through the power plant that exists in every cell in your body. And we want that process to run like a BMW, like smooth, efficiently, the slow hum of a youthful metabolism. And if my pace has to turn green because we're mixing blue with the yellow, so be it. But with the methylene blue, the lights turn on behind my eyes and the words stop slipping sideways, and even sometimes I finish my sentence. There's also the quieter longevity machinery that we have to conceive of. Resveratrol, the red wine, the compound that researchers get excited about. I don't drink that much wine these days. I take a magnum of the resveratrol pill. I mean, me with these compounds, I'm like, the more the merrier. There's a constant need for me to calm. And so quercetin tells my immune system, chill, brother. And I take the alpha lipoic acid. Take that in the morning. And you kind of got to take it with some yogurt or some fat. Makes it better to be absorbed. It's a senolytic blend. We are trying to purge the body of old, damaged cells, sentient cells. We're trying to identify, we want to tag, and we want to eliminate sentient, dead, fucked up cells. Like bad politicians that always refuse to leave. The quercetin, alpha lipoic acid, the resveratrol, the NAD. These are cellular eviction notices. Not for feeling again, but for throughput, metabolism, energy, moving forward, not resting, being efficient, seeking utility from the day, for keeping the background clean so that my foreground can dance. I was going to say I'm not trying to live forever, but why pretend? I am trying to live forever. But in the here and now, with this daily procedure, I am trying to stay elastic. I am trying to stay plastic and interested. The danger isn't that it all stops working. The danger is that it works too well and that I forget to downshift. Because these compounds, man, I am burning oxygen. But youth is not intensity. It's not just intensity. The allure of youth is the recovery, or the time to recovery, quicker recovery. That's the metric I'm watching over. How quickly I can come back. You know that song? Is Monday morning, the sun comes up. I must have left the blind open last night. It's how clean the mind feels on Monday morning. I don't know if we'll use this, but I also wanted to talk about cortisol. I am the cortisol man. Around 2:14 to be precise in the morning. I wake, or I used to wake, not because of the noise outside my bedroom window, but because of something that's alive, that's living inside me. It's a hum. Oh my God, it's a deep hum in my legs, a jitter in my core, my body vibrating as if I'm sitting on an electric fence. My muscles twitch like there's music that they can only hear. I mean, I'm lying there and I'm like shaking Stevens in bed. And I've had those monitors. And it tells me my heart rate variability, it stays low. That's a measure of how well your nervous system recovers between the heartbeat. And a low score means your body is stuck in fight mode. I'm like, come on, you motherfuckers. Come on, who wants to fight me? At 2:14 in the morning, I'm unable to I was, past tense, unable to downshift. This cortisol signals dysregulation. It signals chaos in the mind, or I was literally dying in bed, and I'm not the only one. Previously, I tried cutting the caffeine at noon. I stopped drinking water before sunset. I've seen countless kinesiologists and osteopaths for the twerking limbs. I've had notions, I've taken potions, I've met people. And the conclusion is my body isn't tired, my body is wired. I'm like a Ferrari in a locked up garage. My engine screamed, give me a road. Give me a road that doesn't exist at 2:14 in the morning. All of that is called cortisol. And for the longest time, it really fucked me up. And it forced the adaptation that I'm trying to share with you. Without a doubt, cortisol was my boss. It ran the acid capitalist show. It was a steroid signal. Two small glands sitting on top of your kidneys like tiny fucking African dictators, exaggerating every move, burning my muscles for jet fuel and dumping sugar into my blood at 2:14, shutting down everything else, digestion, reproduction, repair, everything put on hold, heaven if you will, being cancelled, having to wait. It's the hormone that won the Cold War between species and chaos. Saber-toothed tigers, we overcame. Drought, we overcame. Famine, we overcame. Nazis, we overcame. Nothing is a match for cortisol. It's the dark algorithm of human survival. But the enemy that hounds me now isn't a predator. It's a push notification on the blue screen of my telephone. I suffer because I track capital markets worldwide 24/7. There's a phantom vibration of the phone at 2:14. My cortisol buzzing the same way. My tired body is hustled, is hoodwinked into obeying the taunts of the cortisol machine. And you know, like your brain sits in permanent darkness. Like there are no portals, there are no windows. The brain has no ability to clarify or confirm the signals that you are delivering. It survives on the scraps that we throw at it. What do I feed my brain with? I feed my brain with the theater of the apocalypse. The poor bastard of my brain believes that I'm a ground force commander and that I'm under constant live fire. I'm gonna die. If I said that one time as a hedge fund manager, I'm like, the markets, oh my God, they found me. My friends, it's been a pleasure serving the unit, but we're over, we're gonna die. When you feed your brain that kind of bullshit, you know what it does? It drenches the blood with a biological nighttime. It's like napalm, not in the morning, but in the morning, but 2:14 in the morning before the sun comes up. I persuade my brain that I'm storming the gates of Fallujah when all I'm doing is staring at the ceiling. That's the great betrayal. My body playing war games against phantoms that don't exist. Not a malfunction, but today has become the perfect execution of a survival script that's become obsolete. There are no saber-toothed tigers. There are no gates of Fallujah. Not for me. I'm not talking about burnout. Burnout is like Instagram fucking theater. This is betrayal at the molecular level. Stanford have a sleep laboratory and they ran numbers on very high performers, like fighter pilots, S&P 500 CEOs, the kind of freaks, mostly men, that never stop. Endurance runners who turn pain into a sacrament. My brothers and my sisters, my peer group, my tribe. And what they found consistently was cortisol spiking in the dark hour. This warrior-like tide flooding the blood system at 2 a.m. But when dawn broke, when the sun came up, it was flatline. There was nothing left in the tank. And these guys, these were the very best that society has. Not weaklings. These are the wolves in the cockpit of the F-17, 19, whatever, the fighter pilots. The graph and the lab data didn't care about their heroics. These guys woke tired and exhausted because of the midnight rambling in their minds. And then they dragged themselves through the rest of the day. Men trudging through sludge. Mythology says that these heroes have an edge. The data says their edge was eating them alive. That's how I felt. I was being eaten alive. Remember what I said to you? I stare too long at waves, and that if I don't have a procedure that I will eat the furniture, because if I don't eat the furniture, I will eat my mind. That's the cortisol. Cortisol is not stress. It's the beginning of a structural collapse, and I ain't collapsing for nobody. Cortisol was like an acid capitalist suicide pact, which I've reneged on. If the cortisol chapter made you think of yourself or someone, or you recognize that, send them this episode. It's better that we share this. It's celebrated with myth that these high achievers, they are trudging like sludge because their mind is flooded with insanity as they try and sleep. Share it with friends. And if you haven't left us the 5-star rating yet, now would be a beautiful moment just to express some of your thoughts. Anyway, the baboons knew about it before we did. Robert Sapolsky saw it first. And he didn't see it in the corporate glass tower in Wall Street. He saw it in the plains of Africa. Robert Sapolsky is someone who studies the chemistry of stress. And he studies that in living primates. He's particularly focused on the baboon and their social and very fucking brutal hierarchy. Alpha males, all swagger, ruling with sharp teeth and muscle. But the real carnage was never on display in the canopy above you. The chaos was in the bloodline. You see, the lower ranked male baboon, the lowly ranked baboons carried the biochemical shrapnel of their feisty fraternity. What do I mean by that? I mean they were carrying cortisol levels twice, 2x that of the dominant baboon every hour, every day. These baboons, they aged like milk. They sickened sooner and they died younger. Cortisol sucks. Then something happened. Meat laced with tuberculosis. This is Africa, and there was a garbage dump, and they found meat laced with tuberculosis. I don't know why. And of course, with the hierarchy needing to be respected, the chief baboon, the king, eats first. Who would have thought, but the benefits of being king turned out to be a suicide pact. Guess who perished first? Leaving the troops leaderless, but of course increasingly peaceful. As the hierarchy was brutally dissolved by the tuberculosis, cortisol levels for the other primates normalized permanently. The slaughter of the tuberculosis turned wild animals into something closer to household pets. And the great professor, if he taught me anything, he taught me stress is not a mood. Stress is social architecture. Here's what hit me hardest. Despite words to the opposite, I am not a baboon. But the hierarchy that lives inside my head is just as brutal. The WhatsApp pings, the subscriber counts. It used to be my assets under management as a hedge fund manager. The YouTube comments, the scoreboard of social comparison. Me, I've built a cage of alerts and deadlines as feisty and nasty as those alpha baboons. And my brain, my sad old reality-deprived brain, it doesn't know if these pings are predators sent to destroy me. It just registers. The threat is like, danger, alert. And it drenches me in fucking cortisol. Makes me think I'm about to be torn apart. I'm gonna die. And that shit was making me age like milk. And the fix, is there a fix? The fix is you don't beat stress with brute force. You've got to edit the architecture. You've got to dismantle the terror of the false hierarchy. You've got to control which signal is going to tilt your nervous system into danger mode. You've got to create safety cues. It's okay. Space without the pings and the notification. Light without the blueness. Work rhythms and thoughts that do not mimic trench warfare. My liberation is not a beach in St. Bart's. My liberation is reprogramming my internal thoughts. The enemy was never cortisol. The enemy was the blueprint, the architecture that keeps its finger on the trigger. The enemy was receiving the toxic chemistry sent by the brain to fight false demons. You know what I thought? I thought to myself, if a troop of baboons could rewrite their biology, could burn down their social hierarchy, I think I could do it. I don't rest and I glitch constantly, but I concocted a formula. But again, like financial advice, I can't give medical advice. I'm just like not a dumb, but you know, I was a hedge fund manager. I was not a doctor, but I trained myself to weaponize my molecules. I built protocols. I built a stack of supplements that I took morning and evening, and they applied like brake pads on my personal runway. These molecules are not vitamins. I think of these molecules as keys unlocking prison doors. The prison doors of a 24-hour siege. I'm going to ride roughshod over this. I'm going to mention them, give them an honorable shout out. Glycine. Glycine is the gentle assassin. Tasteless, almost holy. It's an amino acid, one of the building blocks of protein. And you know what? You can take a ton of it, and it's so small it slips straight through the blood-brain barrier, and we like that. It gets into the brain and it jazzes things up. Builds protein. It applies the handbrake on my out-of-control synapses. Sometimes it tricks my neural pathways into surrender and I sleep. Then, of course, magnesium glycinate. Everyone thinks it's for muscles. It's for sleep. It's for the brain. It steadies the nervous system's response. I mean, they say take 200 to 400 milligrams before bed. I take 1,000. The magnesium sends a safety signal to an over-alert nervous system. And when the magnesium hits the spot, it feels like somebody took the knives out of my bloodstream. I mean, there was a time when I took about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 magic potions. The list was long. I am not going to give you that list. I'm going to move on in this sleep section. I'm going to continue with this idea of the tightrope, which became sleep. Pain changes everything. Pain reorganizes your day. It reorganizes your day, your sleep, your temperament. I earned mine the old-fashioned way. Mountains, ice, altitude, not attitude. Well, some attitude thrown in, but mostly altitude. Some might call it stupidity. Stupidity dressed up as courage. One day I should have died on Hell's Lumber. I'd left Edinburgh and travelled by car to Aviemore with a buddy. I'd gone straight up an ice chimney in the Scottish Highlands. It was magnificent. 3,000 feet of a sheer spectacle of bravado. At the top, there was a precipice, a corniche of soft, pregnant snow. The exit route was blocked. We were attached to the ice. My buddy had tried repeatedly, but failed. And that's where the bravado kicked in. The acid capitalist said, step aside, I have this. And with my 2 ice axes, I gave it everything. And the ice axes found no traction. And instead of rising, I found myself falling down the ice chimney that we call Hell's Lumber. I had 3 ice screws connecting me and my buddy to the ice. 1 came out immediately. 2 came out. The third held. I wouldn't be telling you this story. I woke up with blood coming out of my cheek. I woke up, which was incredible. But my spine took on the rest. And what came home with me was pain, lots of pain. Nerves firing, muscles refusing to stand down. Shallow sleep interrupted constantly. Cortisol, pain. It was a shallow grave that I climbed into every night and clawed my way out, exhausted every morning. Confession time, I tried Kratom. If you're in the UK, I bet you've not heard of Kratom. Kratom you buy in smoke shops, cheap smoke dives in America. It's still legal. And it's a plant from Southeast Asia. It's chewed on by laborers. They've been chewing it for hundreds of years because it dulls pain and it makes work or sleep tolerable. It's not heroin, it is not morphine. It's Kratom. There was a girl, pretty girl. She told me about it. And she had suffered. Oh my God, if I'd fallen off Hell's Lumber. She was dating a really rich guy. And during COVID, she dived into the swimming pool. There was no water in the pool. What the Kratom has is alkaloids. And they lean on the pain receptors as they resemble an opioid. They do enough to tell the pain to fuck off, but not enough to break up the entire system. Not enough to intern you in a daze, in a coma. The attraction was not euphoria. The attraction was silence. Imagine the background noise finally switched off. The first time I tried it, the girl, she was adding it to tea. She said, "Do you want some?" And it was the end of the night. I was like, well, I don't mind. I think I will try some. And it was quite a large amount. And I was driving home. And I'm like, woo, this is interesting. I want to say I didn't sleep. I floated. I had one of those, those 432 hertz music for like breathing and relaxation. And I don't know, it was like tropical rain. It was fucking beautiful. I swear, I wept. I'm not a weeper. I wasn't stressed. I was open. And I awoke without anxiety. And I awoke rested. And that never happens to me. A deep, biblical sleep. The kind where you kind of drop through the bed and you wake up 8 hours later, feeling like something's been repaired. But the thing about opioid receptors, they're a bit gnarly. You got to be careful with the opioids. The opioids they just get fucking bored of you. You have to take more and more to feel the same, which is to say the dose creeps higher and higher. And the sleep gets shallower anyway. It's a quick fix. And you're back to where you started. Plus you've got look over your shoulder. Mr. Dependency is like, I got you. Which is to say, I quit. I quit because my kids were worried. They were worried that if I went too deep into the sleep, maybe I wouldn't return. Kratom is a nightly tightrope. Step carefully and you cross, step poorly and you fall into a world that I do not want to visit. And so I stepped off. Now, all of that was past tense because now my magic potion is I take half a sleep gummy. Of course I do. And you can buy it legally in St. Bart's and Europe. 10 milligrams THC. Imagine my brain, this is my brain. This is your brain, this is my brain. I was clenching my fist for you. For those of you listening and not watching, watch it on Substack, people. The THC stops the mind from running the nightly audit. And then there's the 40 milligrams of the CBD, kind of preventing the THC from making me paranoid and helping me just lie there. I mean, I just lie there still. Throw in 5 milligrams of melatonin. Melatonin, the darkness hormone. I always think of melatonin again like smoking a cigarette, and it's like, ladies and gentlemen, the spectacle is over. You all gotta leave. This is new knowledge. Have you heard of CBN? Charlie Bravo November. CBN is a cannabinol? What the fuck is a cannabinol? It's what THC grows up to be with age and exposure to air. CBN is THC that's grown up. It's THC that's retired, that's quit the game. Same receptor, but quietly sedative. No high, no stimulation. A calm hand on the shoulder says, lie down. I love CBN. And that half gummy removes all the reasons why I used to lie awake. The goal here is a negotiated nightly surrender. Nightly surrender with my nervous system. Half is the point. On top of all of this, I used to drink. Past tense. I drank more tequila the last 3 years than a man has ever seen. And stimulants would only make me want to drink more. I was ordering tequila like it was fate. I was ordering again and again and again. I would wake up with no hangover. It dulled my Saturday and it murdered Monday. And so alcohol had to go. Not gone, it's going. We're working on it. I am Benjamin Button. I am determined to get younger and younger. Metabolism. Alcohol was pulling me the wrong way. I fucking hate decay. I won't have it. But the mouth doesn't get a vote. So I removed alcohol, I removed cigarettes, I removed vaping. And my nights are better. I seem younger. I mean, let's close. Let us close. Oh my God, this has been so long. And we haven't even discussed markets. Markets, the drugs work. Take drugs. So this was the memoir. This was the audio memoir of a high-functioning addict. That word matters. Not addict, but functioning. The other word is for the fuckers on YouTube. I watch Monday. I watch my breathing. I watch tolerance. Do you know what? I watch tolerance the way I watch markets. I promise you, I don't lie to myself what I'm doing and what this entails. I chose the higher wire because the ground below was already killing me softly. Does that sound like the Fugees? I returned from the run, the beach run. I returned cracked open and laughing inside because it worked. The trapdoor lifted. I feel free. I'm jubilant and dangerous in a good way. The way that scares small men and excites markets. I write obsessively. Writing is where the noise lines up. Silent is small, my heart isn't. Most days I'm seen, but I don't see anyone. I think, I run, I adjust, I write. My optimization now comes naturally. I am not healed, but I am aware of circumstance. Awareness is crucial in markets and in life. Awareness is the first weapon. Reverse decay. Stay dangerous. Keep your mind alive. And tomorrow morning, come on, it's summer in the Northern Hemisphere. I want to see you running barefoot on the beach. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Hugh Hendry. I've been transmitting outside the Bar Select on the blessed island of St. Bart's. If this episode meant anything to you, and look out, because there'll be video versions. If you're listening audio, there'll be a video version somewhere. 5-star rating, people. Summer camp, 2nd to the 6th. I'd like to meet you in person. You. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I love you to bits. Bisous to you all. Substack, Patreon, Instagram, YouTube, at Hendry_Hugh. I'm a virus. I'm everywhere. Come and find me. I love you. I need your love. Let's stay young together. Bisous. Bye-bye.